it works for the board, I will do one more vote. If anybody has any questions of the candidates, I guess we could ask them. Otherwise, we'll go with a vote of the board, and if we can't get 5 to agree, then I guess the next step would be, if nobody has any objections to it, we'll draw from a bucket here, and we can get 5 to agree with that, then we'll seat a new board member tonight. So those that are on Zoom, any opposition to that plan?
I don't like the bucket idea, but I mean, if we can't get the spot filled now, we should just go back to the voters.
An option.
What's that?
That's not an option, no.
Well, you can't go back to the voters.
It's either this or nothing. We got to do it one way or another, Jason. We can't go send it back. We need to make our own decision tonight.
Good luck.
Okay. All right. Did anybody have any follow-up questions they wanted to ask before we go to a vote? All right, hearing none. Those of us here in the room, we should have a ballot in front of us. Those that are home on Zoom, if you will text your vote to Julie, Julie will track those, and we'll see where we go.
We're still not hearing anything. I'll just vote. Is that appropriate?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I don't see Julie on here as a option.
Jim, text her phone.
Okay. Let me.
I think this would be the easiest thing to do, but
You get Kevin's?
Hmm?
You get Kevin?
Not yet.
What's Julie's number?
Julie's going to text you her number, Jim.
Thank you.
our numbers.
You're in a whole box, right?
See how many votes.
I've never broken any tonight, too. Okay. I think this box must be it.
Bad batch.
It's the new April Fool's.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Where you bought these from?
Tonight's board meeting is brought to you by the comedy.
Okay. This box. Probably made it, Chad.
That's fine.
I think this whole box is. Hopefully. Thanks, guys. That was good to say thanks, Kevin. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yeah, I think this box. Yeah. In the manufacturing.
All right. Looks like we do have 5. So we have 5 for Dale and 3 for Jenna. So I guess that's it, right?
Yep.
These are here, so they're saved. All right, we'll go ahead and swear Dale in and get you seated. All right, Dale, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Dale Keene, being first duly sworn, will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States and the state of Oregon, and will discharge the duties as a board member of the Board of Directors of School District number 55 to the best of my ability. All right. Thank you and welcome. Jenna, thank you for coming. All right, next, we have some ESPY awards. That means we've got kids back in classrooms, right? That's a good thing. Yep. So ESPY stands for Exceptional Student Performance this year. This award is given to students who are doing well academically and have an exceptionally positive attitude about school. They demonstrate respect and responsibility towards staff and their peers. They show courage by not conforming to peer pressure and refuse to accept anyone who bullies. The school board and the district want to recognize these students by celebrating their success at the beginning of each board meeting. Students will receive a plaque, and normally we would have an opportunity for them to meet the board members, but due to COVID restrictions, we're unable to do that at this time. So the plaques will be, I assume, taken to the schools and given to the kids. Great, great. So, and I'll go ahead and read these names, and I may need help with one of these. First one from the high school is Kayla Hastings. This is the one that I'm going to struggle with. Also from the high school is, and I apologize for if I messed this name up. D'Artagnan Cromenheck. I apologize if I mispronounced that one. I didn't have a chance to ask an administrator or somebody who might know. So from the junior high, we have Riley Graham. Also from the junior high, we have Allison Totman. From Foster, we have Evan Knight. And also from Foster, Roxanne Kalina. From Hawthorne, we have Kylie Crawford. Also from Hawthorne, we have Riley Allison. From Holly, we have Preston Paisley. And also from Holly, Braylon Walker. And then from Oak Heights, we have Elizabeth Pinks. And also from Oak Heights, Evelyn Meek. And from the charter school, we have Savannah Hooper. So good job, kids. You'll see a plaque coming around for you. And congratulations. We appreciate everything that you're doing. All right, next up we have agenda approval. We do have a couple of late items that were added to the consent agenda, and then one more for information and discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the revised agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on any of these items? All right, all in favor of removing or moving forward with the agenda? Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed to moving forward with the agenda? All right, motion passes. Next, we have student personnel reports, certified and classified representatives. I see Steve here tonight. Do we have Velma on Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna let Steve go real quick and then we'll get to you, Velma.
Hi guys, am I on?
I believe you are.
Okay, hey, been a busy few weeks here. I think I want to first say thank you to Essa and Kevin. We completed our MOU. I thank the district for stepping forward, and I think the district did some very good things to protect, especially its newer teachers, and some things there with adding 10 days. If you run out after your sick leave, having those 10 days was a big thing for us. A big thing though is the ability to work from home. They're quarantined in a situation which was huge, so you don't have to, you can log that time of working from home. And, and while we were doing this, we had some people that were doing just that, they were working from home. I just think that was very good, and the district really stepped up, and I really do appreciate it. I do, very much so. We just finished homecoming. I got to tell you, Tomas Rosa is our activities director, and he was planning from home while on a quarantine, and his leadership kids pulled this thing together. Ramil Malavago, again, set up a live stream. We did a great job, so we did our court presentation live stream, and I went to the classes so we could see it, and then the coronation at the game. It was just a very, very neat thing. Congratulations to Iris Erickson and Mason Lopez, our king and our queen, and we're not at normal, but we're kind of tapping on the door a little bit of getting there, and I look forward to when we will be. But then they had a homecoming dance, and a lot of kids there, a great opportunity for them to dress up, and it's the first school-sponsored dance, I believe, since Winter Formal 2020. And my son's senior year. We haven't had anything school-sponsored like that, and just incredible what our leadership kids did, and people coming together and the senior class. Where we're at right now as teachers, there's some people I kind of stand in awe of some people and what they do, and I get to watch. I got a front row seat to see some pretty incredible humans, and they're showing up without their cape, and they're doing some great things. I get to work with I've got an incredible administration. I get to work with some pretty great people at the high school, and we already know that elementary are incredible and shape people in middle school. man, hats off to your middle. Because they get to deal with a lot of things that happen in kids' lives at that point. That one thing called puberty that just strikes them all is tough. But right now, I got to say, we're exhausted, tired. I'm tired. We kind of leaned into a situation where we're doing a lot of stuff on our own time, our family time, our weekends, and I think what I'm worried about happening there is it's going to become an expectation that you'll just find a way. And my dad, I was very fortunate. My parents are incredible. Everybody already knows that. Well, you don't know. But my dad would always say, if it won't fit, you make it fit. And if there's no way to get something done, you just find a way. And we've been finding a way, but we got a day. Thank you for that day. That Thursday we had that work day. We had a work day, which was incredible. That we needed. And we're having to build 4 weeks of plans and 4 weeks of lessons for the just in case the school gets shut down. And a day was great, but you're not going to plan all your classes. I mean, I have 3 different preps. I know some of the teachers at high school have 5 different preps, and you deal with anywhere from 150 to 200 students, and so you're not going to get it done in a day. And I've got a lot of input back, and our professional learning communities, our PLCs, I think we're not getting to utilize those, like to do that collaborative work. We're having too many trainings right now, and I know it's always good to train, but I'd rather practice than talk about how to practice, and I'd rather work in that. And for us at the high school and junior high, there's a lack of substitutes. So when somebody goes quarantine, we cover. I had 3 days, or I had 2 days last week that I had preps in a row. The week before I didn't. And so when you lose your prep because you're covering classes, and then you lose that PLC time, it makes it hard. It puts you behind, and then you have to start playing catch up. And right now, a lot of input's coming to me from our elementary school kids, our teachers, and from our high school, and from me personally. If our PLC time is important, I think we need to use it as a PLC time. Because we lose, when you can't collaborate with I teach math. I can't get together with Chris Hartman and nail down the algebra 1, and I have to find another time, and that time gets lost somewhere covering something else. And if you're me, you got to go take the kids, or you got to go do an IEP meeting after school, and you lose that. And so I think we need to consider that we need that time. That's very important to us, and if it's important that we built a schedule around it, I think it needs to be used to. Yes. With the parent-teacher conferences coming up, I think we may need to look at how we want to use that time too. Because I know elementary schools, they block times, but at the high school, I'm not going to speak on it. I don't know how the junior high does it now, but when we just make ourselves available, and are they going to come in with masks? Are they not going to come with masks? Or we're going to have to contact trace? We might need to look at that schedule of our parent-teacher conferences. Yeah. So, but it's October. It's October, and the excitement of being back. I'm still excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm still excited to be back. But the anxiety and the stress of the expectation, and yes, For me, you know me, I'm a worker. Not a busy worker, not a paper trail, not, we're a professional. I'm very good at what I do. Get to work with some professional people, and we love teaching, and the people that we work with love our teaching, and we don't want to feel like we're always behind. We get tired of taking second. Ask a lot of teams I wrestle. So, that was pretty good, wasn't it? So, but I do know we've got some neat things coming up. With our we're getting toward the end of the fall sports and different teams in the playoff race, hopefully, and leading into our winter sports and what's next. And I know our leadership kids are working on what's next, but if I could say anything, I would ask for time. I would ask for time. I'd ask for that PLC time, and I'd ask for time to do, last year and you see, it is like, well, what's the big deal? The big deal is, before we were just teaching, lesson plans, all this. Now we're put it on Canvas to meet the quarantine kids, the online kids, the kids in your classroom. This one's going out, put the packet together, let's get this down, and then when I was coming from lunch, you have your last period, and then you can plan your week of Canvas and your videos and your lessons all on Canvas. A little different than you have now and a half, 2 hours. Do you guys have any questions for me about what's going on?
I do.
Yeah.
So number one, what does PLC stand for?
Professional Learning Community.
Okay.
What we do is in a professional learning community, we come together, me and the math department, we come together and we make common assessments. We can plan for what we're doing in our department. The geometry teachers can lay out their geometry, the algebra, And I'm a loner with my algebra basics and my math and trade, but algebra 1, I work with Chris Hartman, so we can develop those common assessments. And
So when
it
you're,
is great to sit in a group in the math department, and then you can center in and let's say, how do we serve this kid? This kid doesn't want to, so we got to talk about it.
so when you're busy with other things, that's what you're asking for more time for,
I just want to use the time that's scheduled.
instead of having it taken for other things.
What other training is going on during PLC right now?
We're doing.
I want to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I want to
Go ahead.
say something and clarify, and talk to you about, because when you're new in the district, we really don't want to change things for the sake. But what I hear is people think that there is a change to the PLC and the professional learning calendar, and Barbie could speak to this as well. There was a schedule of a calendar, and if you look at the PLC calendar, there are specific district days, which a professional learning community can be a district one as well as what he's saying is, math or other structured grade level. And we, Barbie and myself being new to positions, inherited the calendar that was set up. So we have not wanted to change the PLC. What has occurred is a lot of those days that you're talking about were district at the beginning. Maybe they thought whomever scheduled that would be the great start and then roll into the PLC. And so there has not been a change to the PLC, but what Steve is hearing, feeling, and seeing is those may have been district starting, and he's really wanting to get to the building and math book.
Absolutely.
So,
I don't know, and absolutely, I don't know what Tom had put together before he left.
and so in my,
Call him.
and what I want to say is, we certainly don't want to change things because a change can cause as much problems as what maybe this has caused, which is we started with these districts and now we're moving into a long running. And we can certainly talk about the use of how we use the additional for our parent contacts as well. But in the PLC calendar, there are districts, every once in a while, and then there are weekly, things.
Well, the one thing we can always count on, you can always set your clock to is change. Okay, but you always can count on change, but right now, we've had, this year we've had 2 where I've got to sit down with them out of part. One of our PLCs, we had to do our goals and on service. I don't know, they're trainings. And, yeah, I don't understand how that, I didn't understand how that the calendar worked, but I just know, I would love to have that time to sit down with.
And so let's certainly do that, and then also you'll see that there is in the district, well, we sent out, the calendar again, there is also in a Rio 2 format, and you'll see that, we, obviously there are front loaded, and set, and so, you know, my hope was not to make a change, right? And so we didn't, and now we're gonna see that we're gonna take this, what we're hoping for, so I hope that works.
I just know that, we're doing more, and oh man, I absolutely, anybody knows, I absolutely hate if I'm saying, oh, we're just overworked, underpaid, and I don't do that. I believe you gotta work hard. I believe in being a hard worker.
You're teaching across several different
We're
modalities.
doing more than we've ever done, and, for some, it's hard. It's difficult right now. It's very difficult. And one of the offsets that makes it is, man, I get to go to a great building. I get to work with some great people. And even when I was logging fighting fire, I worked with people. I worked with needed a lot better. But I do, and how it was front loaded, and I apologize if I want to sound like you coming here and said all these.
Well, I didn't want you to think you changed, we were trying to be
So-
consistent, but it doesn't always work. Right?
Well, I don't know, I just, it's off, it's very it's difficult to think, here I go, let's get this week laid out, Chris, I'm gonna meet with you and do this. But we're walking on today for 2 hours. And I'm not gonna, you guys, I've sacrificed countless hours. And, I don't think people should have to sacrifice all kinds of do things on their own time. A lot of people that I've sacrificed hours have sacrificed time with others. And so I want to make sure that we as teachers, and please don't, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, because I am. Well, I do. I want to make sure that we understand that I don't want us to get in a habit. 2004, I started getting the training. And I've been doing it now in 2021. But it just got to be okay to, somebody will do it, we'll just get it done. It's a long time. So, volunteering, but I love it. So it's okay. Again, Ralph, I have a good friend. So, time, I think it's important that we have time, and I think it's important that when we can have those, if they say, hey, listen, I can't make this training soon, if we say, fantastic, buildings go to work, teachers go to work in your PLCs. Any other questions? Any questions about anything? Nothing? Okay. All right, guys, thank you. Again, Kevin and Lisa, I said this before, working on the MOU that we did, that was easy. The collaborative and Roxanne, as she said, and Michelle Snyder and myself, and Roxanne, and it was always how can we serve our people, and I really appreciate that. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, Velma,
Hi, guys.
hello.
Like Steve said, we were working on our MOU, got it finished. Did the vote and it passed, of course, and school's running along, and Steve's right. We are definitely short of subs, and I know in some buildings we're just short of employees, not just subs. You know, we're running on, sometimes, especially if somebody's out sick, we're running on skeleton crews. But we all seem to manage and work together and get things done, what needs to be done, and we just keep plugging along with our masks on. I would think that's about it. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Velma? All right, thanks, Velma. Next, we have our superintendent's report. Lisa.
Thanks, Chair Reddick and board members. Just a few updates and some thoughts of what we have been doing collectively as a district. And I really wanted to thank Steve for our ongoing work with MOU, but also just our work collaboratively, helping people with how everyone's feeling, and certainly feeling overwhelmed. As he explained, teachers are running around without their cape showing, but they are superhuman and have superpowers. They are doing full-time in person. Last time when we returned, there was a reduced schedule because of just preparing those online courses. They are also preparing those short-term distance learning. Now, as Steve said, that's if a school closes, but short-term distance learning is for one student, a group of cohorted students that might be quarantined, it might be a whole class, it could be a whole school, it could end up being a whole district. It's the unknown, but it's really a short-term distance learning plan has to be set up according to ODE for one or more quarantined students. And so what is difficult is getting 4 weeks ahead and making sure that we have that available, so every bit of that transition to and from school is a successful one. And then we do have full-time online learning for K-12 in various formats. So we really have a lot going on. And although we haven't changed that professional learning calendar, I certainly know that those PLCs, the professional learning communities for schools and for grades and for content, is ultra important. And I hear that, and we're continuing to hear that. So again, without wanting to make a change, sometimes maybe you come in and say, oh, we shouldn't front load this, we need to give them time, but not wanting to make a change to that calendar. What you'll see is there's time being set aside for that. And also, thank you for supporting that last Thursday. One day is not enough for our teachers to be 4 weeks ahead, get everything on Canvas, get everything packeted and ready, but it's a start. And so I know that our administrators went out and said it's not going to be done, but it's a start because we still need time. So we're going to look for as much time as we possibly can to serve our students in those variety of ways. I wanted to also talk about last Friday was a state in service, and we were fortunate with a partnership we have with Trillium to provide for our staff some mental health, social emotional health for our staff, for themselves and for who we care for, our our students. And that is really trauma-informed practices. And it was, yes, Zoom, because we are still at a distance with our professional learning. However, I think that was timely for people to realize that we need to stop and take care of ourselves. We need to make sure that we are socially, emotionally, and we are all going through trauma of COVID, going through trauma of a pandemic, and that we need to make sure that we are filling our needs as professionals and educators, and as well as our families and our students, and caring them. So thank you to Trillium. Thank you for that partnership, and we'll continue to support that and our teachers. Finally, this month, this is the first time I've had a chance in October to say that it is Principal Appreciation Month and also Bosses Week. So let's congratulate our principals for all of their hard work. It's our job to make sure that we reach out and let the community know that, and know that, yes, our teachers and our educators and our classified members and our staff are exhausted, but I know that these administrators of buildings that are caring for the staff and for teachers and being that wraparound service to our families are equally taxed and need to be appreciated as much. And so this is our chance to be able to do that. So please just make sure that you can reach out to our principals and say that as we have tonight. So again, thank you to all of your hard work, and we greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Lisa? All right, and then were you going to handle enrollment as well?
Oh, yes. I apologize. I put it in the packet. You will see that we are working on our ADM, and that goes to the state. We have the update. October 5th was the last check. And again, you will see the numbers in front of you. It will show you the schools. It will break down that. And then also know that we do keep track, slightly different than you've seen in the past, where we have the list of who is in person and then who we are serving online. And then also you see the charter numbers that are slightly different from our school. So if you have any questions, let me know. But again, this is reported through our student information system and goes to the state as well. And we'll continue to give you updates. What you'll see is we have smaller numbers in class than we've seen in the past. However, we are serving people in a variety of ways. We have had up to 75 or more students quarantined at schools. And so those, obviously those are attendance of in-person, but we're serving that way, and we're also serving online.
All right, thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda. So I'll go through it here real quick. Approve the minutes from the September 13, 2021 school board meeting. Accept a donation from Diana and Gary Actor of a Lenovo Horizon computer. Accept a transfer for Christy Chapman from the junior high school life skills to the high school life skills classroom effective October 7, 2021. Accept a resignation from Caitlin Dugan, third grade teacher at Holly Elementary, effective immediately. Accept a resignation from Patty O'Day, district nurse, effective December 31st, 2021. Accept the resignation of Brittany Sorensen, Title I teacher at Oak Heights, effective when position is filled or 60 days. Approve the hire of Allison Ellis, temporary life skills classroom teacher at Sweet Home Junior High, effective October 7, 2021. And approve the hire of Rainey Rivers, temporary special ed at Hawthorne Elementary Charter, effective October 12, 2021.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, sound like Jim seconded.
Yes.
All right. Any discussion on any of those items? All right, hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, motion passes.
Jason, may I suggest that we move the ODOT information thing up to number A so they can move these guys along?
I was kind of thinking the same way. So if anybody doesn't have a problem with that, then we'll go ahead and do that. So Kevin, I'll let you go ahead and take that over. We'll get these guys where they can get home to their families. So.
Okay, thanks, Jason. We do have for later this evening an action item to approve an easement for the Oregon Department of Transportation We have Tiger Liner and Ryan Brown from ODOT here tonight to provide additional information first on what that's about.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for having us. As Kevin just mentioned, my name is Tiger Liner. I'm the acquisition agent on this project, working with property owners to acquire the right-of-way. And then this is Ryan Brown, who's the right-of-way project manager for this job. And so essentially, we're just hoping to be here today to answer any questions that may come up about the permanent easement. We have a little bit of information about the project. Unfortunately, our project leader was not able to be here tonight. She has a conflict, although she will be attending the city council meeting tomorrow night. So if there's more in-depth questions about the project or budget or things like that, she'd be able to answer more of those. In regards to the permanent easement, this is regarding the school district property just east of 56th Street, down in Sweet Home. And the reason that permanent easement is needed for slopes and utilities purposes is because the pedestrian improvements that we're putting in that area, which is a sidewalk, the slopes will need to be into that school district property, and hence the reason for the permanent easement in that area.
So about how wide is the easement on district property?
Let me pull that up really quickly. Kind of varies.
Yeah, I don't think we have an exact size. It does vary.
They're like in the 8 to 10 feet range, 50 feet. I mean,
It's a 4,274 square foot easement area. Sorry, I wish I brought a thumb drive or something to put it up on the screen here.
I'm about 10 feet approximately. I know that when the appraiser was out there, it was staked at that time or prior to the appraiser, and they would stake the current right of way and then the back of the easement. By looking at the map, I would guess it's about 5 or 10, it might be 11 feet. Depends on the width of the right of way in there.
it's like on the map, very slightly, just on the ends. And,
Yeah, on the one end next to the railroad, I'm guessing without measuring or talking to the designer who drew up the plans, I would say it's probably about 11 feet. So right at the corner of 56, it might be a little bit bigger because it widens out right there because of, usually they widen out because of the ADA ramp. Well, actually, that's the neighbor's property there, so a little bit bigger slope.
Okay.
And once we get back to the office tomorrow, we can double check on that and send Kevin an email.
But I guess I'm looking at the area and then the number of stations involved here on.
I'm looking at the
length.
one on the railroad where it looks like station 85, and then just below that is 61 feet. If that is a 50-foot wide right of way off a center line, which it is on the south side, it's 50 feet, then 50 feet, 61, it's 11 feet.
Right, okay.
Just doing basic math.
Doesn't sound too bad.
The algebra teacher left, and we.
All right, any other questions? All right, hearing none. Guess we'll be looking at this as an action item here in a little bit,
Yep.
so.
Would you like, while they're here, just to explain maybe a little bit more about the purpose of the project?
Sure, yeah, that might help.
I came in late to the project. It's gone the third project manager for right-of-way on it. So I don't have a lot of the background. We did talk to the project leader last week and try to get some of the background on the project. Sidewalk project with ADA ramps, I think from, I want to say 40th, 45th, down to east of 60th. And with our discussions last week, you know, they looked at the north and south side of the road and which would have the least amount of impacts. And in this case, you know, I think it's the north side. Not exactly sure which side's the wedge out there. But, you know, any more, you know, I don't have anything more than that. I'm not sure if Tiger does, because he's a new agent in our office. Just the turnover and people moving positions, which you guys are probably all aware of. You know, it's been really tough. Project-specific questions, you know, her name, Christine Hildebrand, will be at the meeting tomorrow night, and she's the project leader, and she's been with the project since day one, so she's got a lot more of the basic information.
So my overall understanding, though, is this is to help improve pedestrian access and safety from Sweet Home out towards Foster Lake.
I would say yes to that, and along with ADA ramps. I think by the, I could be wrong, I was gonna say by the pizza place, they're doing a rapid flashing beacon across the highway, but I could be wrong, it may not be right close to the.
I'm aware
So-
of near by Mart.
So,
Go ahead, Jim.
so this project actually has been talked about for many, many years. And our stumbling block, we've always came out right to the bridge and had problems getting a easement or a way to go around that bridge with access. Because it's narrow right underneath that bridge, correct?
You're talking about the trestle?
Yes, the trestle. So in order to get around that, you have to get an easement and go in a different way. And because that's where we've always ended up stopping with our tries. We were never able to go any farther. I'm glad ODOT is looking at doing this, and I'm glad that ODOT is taking this on as a project, and it'll make it a lot more accessible out there and a lot safer for the pedestrians going in and out of not only the area down there at Foster, but to the school.
Yeah. And I suppose east of the trestles, do you guys know whether there's an easement issues over there you having to deal with as well on the neighbors are there?
We're buying one easement just east of the trestle. There's quite a wide right of way.
Okay.
Past the first couple properties.
There's not any known stumbling blocks out east of the trestles in it.
I think all the way east of the trestle, from there out to, I believe it's 60th.
Yeah. All right.
There's room.
Great. Thank
out
you.
there.
And thanks, Kevin, for getting the right of entry signed, and working through those challenges, so we were able to meet the migratory bird window to take down those trees. And I think we've labeled Blake on there, but we'll be working with him to make sure that timber gets put up to high school.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, next we have budget update, Essa report, and property tax information. Kevin, I'll let you handle this one.
Okay, thanks, Jason. I believe it is item 8A in the board packet. I will start with the budget update. Through the end of September, we have spent $193,000 $147 more in the general fund than in the same time period last year. Three primary reasons: higher labor costs, higher water usage, and also higher property insurance premiums.
Any questions for Kevin?
I'll move on then to the next page, federal elementary and secondary school emergency relief fund spending. This recaps all of our federal ESSER spending through the end of September. This is a report we're going to continue to update for the board so you can see how that full money from the federal government is spent. And finally, on the next page, some property tax information. Lynn County published the 2021-22 property tax rates last week. And for the Sweet Home School District, our property tax rates continued to decline, decreasing by 2 cents per thousand due to a reduction in our bond rate.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
Next, we have a facility report. Is that you?
That's me.
It's you.
So district, well, we're still struggling. Like everybody else said, it's across the board with quarantine times and struggling to keep up. But we do have a very good can-do attitude people here at the district. It's great to see the custodial staff all kicking in extra to really get this thing and make it happen, and my staff and the maintenance here. Tomorrow, we're walking our 1-year warranty walk with girding. So that'll be good to get that done and get the little things that need to be fixed up there. So that's great happening. And then the new bleachers at the junior high, they should be finished up tomorrow. And so I can bring a picture next time, you guys can see them. It adds a lot to the gym to add that color and to get those things in there. And then the high school, we did a retro to the bleachers there. I don't know if you remember, if you guys go to the games, the handrails are really wobbly. And so that company had come out with a retro for those that is more stable, so it'll be safer. And as soon as they're done with the junior high bleachers, they're gonna finish those up at the high school. That's a few little projects that we got going right now. Any questions for me?
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have the Division 22 standards.
You, Chair Reddick and Superintendent, or sorry, I'm so used to saying Superintendent. Chair Reddick and board members, I have asked Luke to come and speak about Division 22 and kind of give a quick overview very fast, because I know that with new people on the board, I wanted to really express how important Division 22 is. It is something that all of our insurances that go straight to the state that are my one, and I mean, we have many ways of looking, but this is the one final way to really just ensure that we are doing all of the things that we are asked to be doing, and wanted to give you an update before we present that for your consent and approval.
Okay.
Thank you, Superintendent. And I appreciate the responsibility of taking this on this year. It has been a much needed challenge, and it's been really good to kind of dig through this. So Division 22 assurances, every school district in the state follows these guidelines, and they are tied to laws and regulations in our state. It's what governs some of the board policies that we have. And essentially, these help, this process of looking at these standards helps to provide a high quality education for all students. And it's made sure that every student across the state has similar opportunities. So in total, there are 57 standards. We made a couple of changes in regards to COVID-19 last year. But each one of those standards has multiple indicators. So there are a lot of pieces of paper to find and to make sure you're in compliance, a lot of more policies to go through. sure that each school and district are following. Last year, we're reporting for 2020-21 school year, and the state last year has waived 3 standards entirely, kindergarten assessment, or assessment of central standards, and our identification of tag students. And then there are 4 other standards that they waived as partial indicators within that standard in response to COVID-19, because we're dealing with distance learning last year. We were dealing with a lot of different protocols and guidelines. So it was very difficult to balance all these things. For example, last year, traditionally we have instructional hours that need to be met for each student at each grade level. There was a guideline from the state, and last year we were able to count more of our parent-teacher conference contact time towards those hours, because it did take a lot more of our energy and effort to communicate with students online at home and keep them engaged in the school process. So the state is helping to identify ways last year that we can be flexible. Sweet Home has met all the requirements for 55 of the 57 standards this year. And in fact, I'm going to talk about for last year, sorry, thank you. We are in compliance for 55 out of the 57. The 2 that we need to report to the state that we are out of compliance for, they are on very minor issues with each one, and we have talked about a plan to correct that. So standard 2220 is health services. We are in compliance in 5 out of the 6 requirements. One of the requirements is to have a staff member certified in CPR first aid for every 60 students you have in the building. And 4 out of our 6 schools were able to accomplish that last year. And so we are working with the Student Services Department and our district nurses to come up with trainings in the buildings. And we are going to make sure that moving forward for this year, we will be in compliance in the very near future, making sure that we have enough staff with CPR certification to student ratio. The last one that we need to report we are out of compliance for is standard 2510. It is labeled the suicide prevention plan. There are 3 requirements for this standard. Having a board policy that outlines this, which we do. We have all policies in place. The one piece that we are missing is getting the written plan written down and disseminated to administrators. So this policy deals with making sure that there are practices and protocols in place for students who are returning to school or helping students cope with a possible suicide or someone who has tried. So we are writing the plan. Our Department of Student Services is writing that down, and we'll be getting that to administrators in the buildings in the very near future. And we will be able to mark in compliance with that standard next year as well. It just so happened we did a very good job last year balancing all the needs of COVID, all the guidelines, all the protocols, and we just happened to miss the mark slightly on a couple of minor things. But we are very happy with our progress, and we have talked as an administrative team on a number of occasions about making sure that we are looking at this, paying attention to this, and making sure that we are in compliance for the future. So minimal requirements. I can clarify any questions you guys might have, but we are going to report this to the state by November 15th is their deadline. And part of this, what you have in your board packet is our reporting template that will go to the state. That will also be posted on the school district's website for the community to access.
Any questions? Thank you. Thanks, Luke. Yep. All right, next we need to look at some dates for work session and training. So we have some training, partially to help us get in tune with our new superintendent, and partially to help get the new board members up to speed, and partially to help some of us older board members remember where we should be. So a few different options to look at. This will be virtual meetings. We can meet here, correct? And then Zoom in, the facilitator will Zoom in, okay. So Monday, October 18th, which is next Monday, Tuesday, October 19th, Monday, November 1st, Tuesday, November 3rd, or Wednesday, November 4th. So those are some options that are open to the facilitator from OSBA. So I guess if we want to kind of discuss and pick something out.
How long are those, Jason?
What's that?
How long are those?
These are a couple hour sessions, correct?
What are the times?
We'll need to probably decide on that as well.
So I'm clarifying the dates, the November dates and the days of the week don't line up. So is it the dates that are right, the 1st, the 3rd, and the 4th? It can't be Monday and a Tuesday if it's the 1st and the 3rd. No, November.
November 1st is a Monday.
The 3rd is not, is it
So
not?
the 3rd would be Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yep.
So those are the correct, the values, the 1st, the 3rd, and the 4th are what's correct?
Okay.
I can't do October dates, I'm on vacation next week, but November ones are fine.
I think I'm better in November too.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody have any opposition to any of the November dates there?
Just the 4th.
Monday works better for me, out of those 3 days of the week.
Flexible, either one.
Does Monday, November 1st work for everybody?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not hearing any more.
We try and find the second one while we're here? Is the 3rd available for the second one? Is that what we're saying? These are all available dates for the first?
Just for the first one, and then we'll decide.
Okay.
Okay. So there should be roughly 4 sessions, a couple hours long. So we'll probably set the second session at that first session meeting. That way we can all line up with our facilitator and make sure everything works. So if nobody has any objection to November 1st, we'll make that plan.
Do you get a time?
Not yet.
So Julie will send us a time? Do we have a time?
Is 5 o'clock okay with everybody?
No, I don't get home from work until after 5.
Okay, 6 maybe?
6 would probably work.
Any opposition to 6 o'clock? All right, we shoot for Monday, November 1st at 6 p.m. And we'll get details out to everybody else. So have the option of meeting here and the facilitator zooming in, or if you want to do Zoom, need to do Zoom, we can do that as well. So, all right, looks like we got a plan. All right, action items. First one here, appoint Don Hopkins to the Budget Committee, position 5 at large.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have Jim with a motion and Mike with a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, motion passes. Next one here, approve the ODOT permanent easement. Do we all get our questions answered on that as much as we need to?
Yep. You know, that sidewalk's been in the works, like Jim said, for a long time, so this would be a great thing.
Okay.
We approve this ODOT permanent easement out there in Foster.
Second.
Okay, we have Mike with the motion, Dale with the second. Any discussion on this one? All right, hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, motion passes. Next, we have approved the Division 22 standards. Those are what Luke just showed us here.
Yes, thank you, Luke. Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the Division 22 standards.
Second.
Okay, Mike with a motion and Jim with a second. Any discussion on this one? All right, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, motion passes. Do we have any board comments tonight?
This is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. I just want to thank all of our teachers and administrators for doing everything that you're doing right now. I know you're stretched thin and you're so appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
I want to make sure that we do thank the classified also, because I would be in deep trouble if that didn't happen.
Yes, thank you for that.
All right, thank you. All right, we got the late items out of the way. So future agenda items, next board officer meeting is November 1st at 3:30 in the superintendent's office. Next board meeting is November 8th at 6:30 here in the district office boardroom, unless that changes for some reason. And we are adjourned.